Yeah, hello everyone. So myself Sujit Patel and I am from Invent Model Technology Solution. And together with me, I have my team member Aditi and Karthik. And this session is basically for the Databricks live training demo recording. So we have our expert Satya who will guide us and kind of help us on the Databricks course content, Databricks kind of Q&A and all. So we had started our journey from 2016. Like we are giving the training from 2016. We have started our journey from Informatica course training. So I was the first person who has started, and together with me, we have currently more than 30 to 40% who are with us, and we are targeting to become one of the leader in the IT training globally. So we are trying to collaborate with more and more trainers to make our community bigger. Yeah. So in our training, how it is different from others. So we most of our trainers are having a very extensive experience. Most of them are working as a solution architect, solution consultant, and all. So we ensure that we deliver the best value to our candidates or our student, whoever is coming to us. And for that, we have very expert trainers who are working on the ground on the real time projects in the multiple projects. They have already worked on the big MNCs. They have worked on the kind of on-sites. So we ensure that whatever time we are taking for the student, we deliver the best value to. So if some of them is coming for switching the job, so we take care into in all the kind of segments of the training. We start with fundamentals, we go to the advanced level, then we go for resume preparation, then we go for interview preparation. And once our candidates are able to crack the interview, once they get a job, then we also help for the kind of job support as well. So we would like to become and be the part of our candidates throughout the journey, starting from training and to the project work and all. And a good thing is that our student can rejoin any classes if they want to kind of recap the sessions after 6 months or after 1 year as well. So suppose some of our students forgot some of the things that they want to recap few sessions. So if some live classes is running, then definitely we can allow them to recap and there is no charges for that. We have dedicated training advisors who will basically help you to let us know that which batches is going on, what is the timing you have, and how you can get the meeting links and that so that you can join the thing, right? Apart from that, we are covering 200 plus real-time use cases which are being used in the real-time kind of projects that will also be covered. And we will also take care one into in real-time project. So this is a very high-level kind of artifacts we have as part of our training feature. And once you will attend the classes, once you will enroll, and once you see kind of our day-to-day services for you, then definitely you will get convinced and we will understand that you'll get satisfied with our kind of services and values. Okay, so that's it about our Invent Model Technology Solution Company. Now we would like to pass it to Satya, basically who will help us to understand about Databricks. He's expert of Databricks and he will be the trainer of this who will guide us further. So let's hear something from him. And yeah, Satya, it's to you.
Yeah, thanks, Ajit. Yeah, hello everyone. Before I deep dive or I talk about Databricks, the course content, just wanted to kind of take 2 minutes so that I can talk about my background and my introduction, right? So I come up with around 17 years of experience overall in data domain. And when I say data domain, basically I started from doing the MIS reporting, automation, and then a lot of things into the big data world. Right. When it comes to big data, like working with Apache, Hadoop, MapReduce, and Cassandra, like big data kind of concepts. That is what I have worked for number of organizations and enterprises, right? As far as the domain is concerned, I worked with healthcare, I worked with finance, banking, and I have kind of given a lot of time into oil and gas, energy sector as well, right? Because that is the most growing industries nowadays. During my experience, there is one thing which is common, which I have noticed with all the organization, be it any domain, right? The data. Though the companies are able to gather data, store data, but are they able to leverage that data? Are they able to fetch the value out of data? That is a very, very big question, right? You can have a big infrastructure, but if you're not able to process your data, if you're not able to get value out of it, really it is not helping you. And until unless you are not able to get the value out of your data, you are not able to, utilize that data in decision making. Really, it's a waste of your data and the money which you are investing. And that is the reason the jobs related to data in the market are increasing. Be it your BI consultants, business reporting analyst, uh, BAs, whether you are working as a data engineer, data scientists, right? Everywhere data is the key element, right? So starting from the very first step where you just need to explore data, do the exploratory data analysis, or if you are building, AI or machine learning models, data is the key. You need to know that what is the nature of your data. So that is where, the tools like Databricks, Synapse, Fabric, Snowflake, these come in picture. The whole purpose of this training, what we are planning over here, is to kind of make anyone, like if you have a very basic understanding of your data, right? You just know how to use data in Excel or a little bit Python. Our goal is to kind of bring you to the next level. That is where you can work with data scientists, data engineers, or maybe business stakeholders who really need the value out of data, right? So keeping that goal in mind, we have designed this whole course in several steps. And the duration, what we finalize is as like around 30 hours. Out of these 30 hours, we will be covering the whole concepts over here. And then in with each chapter or with each module, there would be, specific demos and hands-on sessions. So that is where with me, you can log in into Databricks. You can work with the data, how to process it, what transformations we can do. So we'll be talking around those things, right? Then another important key element which I wanted to highlight here, right? Though we have mentioned that really not big technical prerequisites are there for this course, but as I said, basic Python knowledge and basic data understanding should be there, right? Now, having that knowledge, we will help you so that you can process the data, work in the big data ecosystem, work with, different data sources, and not only just transform the data, you will be able to kind of bring the value out of it, right? So looking at data bricks, we'll start directly from the very fundamental things within Databricks, that what is the architecture of Databricks, what are the major components over here, how you can deploy your code, how you can write your code, what are the different, artifacts when you're working with the, Databricks ecosystem, like notebooks, serverless, clusters, Unity catalog, all those things will be covered one by one, right? Uh, as we go further, we will be kind of, doing, as I mentioned, like we'll be doing each and every session with hands-on. So whatever topic we are going to cover, you will have something to perform as in practical. You will know that how your data is going to be processed, right? We will be providing you the data sources so that you can go ahead, connect to the data, bring that data into Databricks environment, and then play with it, do all the R&D and analysis with that particular data, right? I'm just scrolling down through different topics, the different modules which we have divided in. So starting from the very fundamental, understanding the workspace of Databricks, processing your data, making it ready for reporting perspective, and making it ready for machine learning perspective. So all these steps we are going to cover. With that, there are some key concepts like slowly changing dimension, change data capture, time travel within the data, how you work with the streaming data within the Databricks. So each of these will have, its own place within the course outline. There is a very standard architecture called medallion architecture, which is used across all the major data platforms, be it your Snowflake, Databricks, Fabric, Synapse, or even if you're working in a plain, OpenStack side. Medallion architecture is a common one which will be used, right? So we'll be covering that here. And then at end of, like towards the closure of the, these modules, we'll be going through the CI/CD as well. Means whatever code you are writing, how you can put it into automated CI/CD pipelines so that any code which is written by you, your team members, can automatically be deployed into the target environment. So we'll focus on those two as well. And then last but not the least, the governance, right? Because the whole purpose of these data platforms is to kind of democratize the data. Means data should not remain in the silos. If there are 10 departments in an organization, each, the whole data of that enterprise should be at one place so that any department, irrespective of, the work what they do, but if they are authorized to see the data, they can see the data, leverage it, and use it for the decision making. So that is the goal. So that is where the governance, security, role-based security comes in picture. We would be talking about, a lot about Gen AI side as well, because in Databricks, they have introduced concepts like AIBI, AIBI, then there is a Genie. Genie is nothing but a RAG application kind of a concept within Databricks. You can ask your question on top of your data, it will answer you. So we'll be covering those as well, how to fine tune those models, how to kind of, improve it for accuracy so that whatever data model you create within Databricks, you can leverage or your stakeholders can leverage it for decision making. So we'll be talking about that as well, right? So this is how we will be covering all the modules starting from basic till the advanced within this live session, right? Please let me know if you have any questions. Uh, Post that, we'll move towards the introduction of Databricks.
Yes, sure, Satya. So I do have few questions which can help our students to means understand this Databricks in more detail. So
Sure,
suppose some
Sujit.
of student is coming to us who are from ETL background, from Informatica Power Sector background. So how they are going to correlate their kind of previous knowledge with these Databricks? What common things they can find out, and what additional things they are going to learn on that part?
Sure, Sujit. I think it's a very good question. Uh, Anybody, I mean, as I said, like this tool is a unified tool that I will be talking in detail as we go. But to this particular question, like people who are coming from the ETL background, right? So for them, I think it will be easy to go on. The reason being they are already working with the data migration and doing the data transformation and load activities. Databricks helps data engineers or like our integration developers to kind of move data or migrate data from source systems to the unified data lake, you can say, or the data warehouses, you can say, right? So the concepts remain the same. The only thing is look and feel and little bit of the technology might change, but people from ETL background can easily leverage their past knowledge and advance their skills while using the Databricks. I hope it answers.
Yeah, that's a great answer, Satya. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
this is a tool and technology where most of the people, if they have a small background of the data, like
Mhm.
either they know SQL, either they know reporting or ETL or anything, so that will be good for them to upgrade to Databricks because this is also one platform, a cloud platform, where they are going to learn more things about the data, right? Data migration, data kind of loading, data migration, and all, right?
Exactly.
So,
So
apart
yeah.
apart
Mhm.
from data, what other things we can do in Databricks?
So I mean, as Databricks names, right? Data. So everything, whatever we do over here is around data, right? Now, different roles. So what happens, like we call it unified data platform. There is a reason why we call it unified data platform. The reason being, like if you just go 5 to 6 years back, at that time we had people who used to just design the architecture. Then there were people who were just moving the data from source to destination. Then we had people like who are doing maybe writing the stored procedures, doing the writing the views, doing some algorithms and calculations on top of data. And then we had people who used to leverage that data into some other environment to write machine learning models so that they can do the forecasting and predictive analytics, right? And for all of these people, there were different environments and different tools they were using. What Databricks have done, they have brought everything together under one umbrella, right? So that means if there is a data scientist, they need not to go into any other environment. Within Databricks itself, they can write their machine learning models and do the end-to-end ML ops over here, right? If you're coming from data engineering background, for example, we talked about ETL developers, right? So those people can write their pipelines within Databricks using Python notebooks, and then they can move data from sources and bring it under one data lake environment or data warehouse environment, right? Within the same environment, same workspace. If you are working as a reporting analyst, let's say, and you need to write views or stored procedures for your reports in Power BI, we have a SQL Server pool within Databricks. You can write your query like in SQL, select start from whatever table you want, and you can do all the transformations and calculations within that environment. So it's one stop shop for all kind of a data roles, right? Another thing, the very big and important piece, which is around security, cataloging, right? I can take one example. So let's say there is an organization, it has multiple departments. There might be accounting department, HR department, marketing department, and then there is operational department, right? Each department generally has their own KPIs, own field, like own definition of the data fields. So what happens sometimes if they are working for a board meeting and all, sometimes they're talking about the same data, but they have their own definitions. What Databricks does, it has Unity catalog, right? So when you are bringing data for all departments at one place, you can have a standard definition, standard calculations. So it helps overall organization to standardize the overall data concepts, right? Data repositories, data dictionaries. So that is another big advantage of bringing your data into Databricks, and it helps overall organization to talk about same data points, be it any meeting, be it any department. So that's another thing. So it has a role and a work tool for each department, right? Or each role, I should say. Uh, Gen AI, right? I mean, nowadays everybody's talking about Gen AI, AI. Uh,
Yeah.
it has its own models. It helps you to kind of fine tune that model, train that model, so that on top of whatever data model you create in the Unity catalog or in your database, you can train those models and make it ready as a RAG application. RAG basically retrieval augmentation. So you can ask question like a chatbot and it will answer on top of your data. So it has all these features available.
Okay, great. Thanks, Satya. So, in a simple, if I would try to correlate with means this Databricks with some of the data vendor who are having the multiple products like Informatica or
Mhm.
kind of there is other products also from the different domain. So Informatica have ETL, Informatica have master data management, Informatica have data cataloging, as you said. So Informatica have data governance also as a separate tool. So for data governance, how we are going to achieve that in Databricks?
Mhm. So like as I talked about, the Unity catalog, right? That is where you define all the
Yeah.
policies. So
Okay.
uh, right, there is another big thing, right? For example, we are working in healthcare domain. Now in
Yeah.
healthcare domain, when let's say we are having the claims data or clinical trials data, right, there would be a lot of confidential information, right? Like SSN numbers of the customers or patients. That data need not to be disclosed as the organization. That's a confidential data or it's a sensitive data. So very specific people need to have access to such information. Within Databricks, by creating policies, we can have a specific roles created, right? So that only the required people or the people who are authorized can see that information, right?
Hmm.
Other people will
Okay.
not be able to see that information. It's a kind of a role-based security. That is what we can apply on top of our all the objects within Databricks, right? So it helps to maintain that HIPAA acts or it is GDPR. Those things you can create policies and you can apply over here. Another thing, like Databricks has its own marketplace, right? So marketplace, there are some native tools to Databricks and there are some third-party tools to Databricks. So what you can do is if you need any third-party tools, you can leverage those connectors as well and bring data from your Salesforce, NetSuite. There are other tools as well wherein you can get the data from. Even the latest advancement which has happened, you can bring or you can create a connectivity between Fabric and Databricks as well. So like one lake from Microsoft side, you can bring data into Databricks or vice versa. So these advancements are happening a lot as of now. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. Any other question before I move on to the slides?
Yeah, just one more question. So, as we understood that we do have different features of playing with the data, like we have database, we can manage the data warehouse, data migration, data governance, data cataloging, and all. So, in between that, if you want to use any third-party tool, suppose I want to use a Tableau for reporting. I don't want to use the inbuilt reporting or BI feature, whatever we have in Databricks. So, is it possible? And yeah, means how complex to do that? To that.
Right. So as I said, like Databricks has its own marketplace and the connectors. So be it Tableau, be it Power BI, or any other reporting tool. Databricks will provide you the connectors. Basically, it has details related to the cluster, whether it is you are using serverless SQL pool or you are using the compute resources like job-based clusters. It has its own connection details. You can use those server, host, and connection details directly into Power BI or Tableau, and you will be able to see the same data what is there in the data bricks, right? So it will work as a data source for you in that case, and the reporting tool, be it Tableau and Power BI, you can do any sort of dashboarding reporting over there.
Okay, got it. So basically, we can means manage through some third-party connector between the Databricks and third-party applications. So that
Specifically for
third-party,
yeah, sorry to
yes,
interrupt, but yeah, specifically for Tableau and Power BI, there is no third-party tool you need. You can directly
okay,
use the connection details.
okay. But if some of the tools don't have the kind of connector available, then
Mhm.
we have to use third-party connector for that, right? Means Tableau and
Exactly.
Power BI are known kind of BI tools. So for that, they already have that. That's a great. We got it. Yes, so thanks, Satya. Now we can move on to the slide. Let's try to catch up in a few minutes.
All right. So let me just share my screen.
Yeah, we can
Uh,
see that.
yeah. Okay. Let's go into presentation mode. I hope it is visible to everyone.
Yeah, it's visible. Please go ahead.
All right. All right. So yeah, I mean, though we have been talking about that, why Databricks, what are the features in Databricks, over here in this particular slide, I mean, I'll just talk a little bit in details about the similar kind of concept, right? So Databricks got introduced around 4 to 5 years back, and before that, I mean, there was a lot of discussion or noise in the market about big data. Everybody was moving towards the big data because looking at the velocity, speed, and variety of the data, everybody was like thinking about that how we can get value out of data, right? But problem was there was no unified environment, right? Why Databricks, got so much hype or like place what it has right now in the market? Because it was created by or owned by the original Apache, organization. Apache was an open source earlier, but they came up with this concept of Databricks and they brought all the different pieces together under one umbrella, right? And that is the reason it is called unified analytics or the data platform, modern data platform. It has these many, big features like data sharing. You can get data from source, put it into destination, process it, and then again you can share it with the reporting system, other teams, other departments, right? So internally, externally, you can share the data. It is heavily used by data engineering teams to process and manipulate data. Data governance, we talked about like role-based security, permissions, governance, all that can be implemented. And then you can just model your data, right? So before this, we were talking a lot about OLAP and OLTP kind of a concepts. So OLAP was nothing but your warehousing. That is where you do online analytical protocols. You create your models like facts and measures in SQL warehouses, and then you expose them for the reporting, right? But there was a limitation that you were not able to use semi-structured or unstructured data. It was completely for structured data. But with Databricks, you are able to use the similar concepts, data warehousing concepts, not just with structured data, but with semi-structured and unstructured data as well, wherever it is needed, right? Then on top of it, like once your data is in a model format, in a whether you go for Snowflake schema, you go for star schema, right? You can leverage it for AI and machine learning. So that is another advantage. Real-time streaming. So in India, right? I mean, there is a government's vision that we want to be a energy-rich company in terms of renewable energy, right? There is some target what government has set up. So because of that, a lot of real-time data sources are coming in picture, and not just only energy. If we talk about other sectors, like we every day we use Ola, Uber, or other IoT devices, right? Everybody is using like Gemini, or like in hospitals, manufacturing organizations, they use a lot of IoT devices which are generating data every second, right? So in order to process that data, do the reporting, we need real-time streaming, and that is what Databricks supports. You have DLT frameworks, you have Kafka streaming, all that can be implemented over here to get those streams, and not just to kind of store that streaming data, but you can do the real time or near real time reporting as well. So number of things you can perform within the one particular workspace within Databricks, right? Market space we already talked about, like the third party connectors, third party sources. uh, Even if, like, let's say there is no native connector available, Databricks supports APIs, REST APIs, or SOAP APIs. So if you have details related to APIs, you can connect, perform that in Python within PySpark, basically within notebooks of Databricks, and bring the data and then perform all sort of analytics on top of it, right? So be it whatever role you have in the data domain, or whatever is the size of the data, or whatever tool you're using, I think Databricks is one-stop shop for you, right? Another thing, you might have heard that your organizations, let's say if they are using one particular cloud, be it Azure, GCP, or AWS, right? So most of the time it happens like if you are going for one particular cloud, you need to use other services related to that particular cloud only, right? It's a kind of a locking which happens for a like you get into a contract with that particular cloud provider, right? With the Databricks, it's a cloud solution, and it is compatible, available on all these major cloud providers, right? So for example, let's say today you are on Azure, you have Azure Databricks. Tomorrow you take some decision to move on, let's say AWS, you can easily move the same artifacts which you have created within Databricks, move it into Databricks on AWS. Your tool environment is still going to be the same, right? So there is no major hiccups. And I have worked with companies like NRG, right? It's a one of the 150 Fortune energy company in US. They had all the infrastructure earlier created on AWS, but because of good terms and the support what they got from GCP, they had moved their 5 Databricks workspaces from AWS to GCP without any kind of challenges. So it provides you that kind of interoperability and compatibility with the cloud. So if you are on Databricks, really it opens a lot of options or jobs, career options for you as you go, right? I'll move to the next slide here. So that's about, the modern data platforms, right? I mean, we talked about data warehouse. And this was, I think, the best thing 5 years back when small organization, big organizations, in order to kind of leverage overall reporting capabilities, everybody was focusing on data warehouse. If you are able to build a data warehouse, you are able to produce reports for management needs, for investor needs, for market perspective or day-to-day operational requirement, right? So that was the core crux which used to happen. But the problem started when, because of the increasing variety in the data, the semi-structured data came in. Your videos, images, thermography, all that data came in, right? The streaming came in. Then people started noticing the limitations of data warehouse. Though your data is in a structure over here, right? It works best for structured data. You can do all the reporting, automate your KPIs, measures, you can do all that. But when it comes to unstructured data, there were challenges, right? In SQL warehouse, you cannot store your videos. So those type of challenges started coming in. For this, the major cloud providers came up with a concept called data lake, right? And this is where you were able to save your structured data, images, videos, audios, logs, text files, CSV, anything, right? We were able to leverage a lot of value out of data using data lake. But still there was a challenge, right? Because data lake is kind of a free space for you. You dump all your data, right? But if data is not in a proper structure, still there were a lot of challenges, right? Let's say you got audios and videos, right? But are you able to kind of process that, get the value out of it? You can, but you need to do a lot of processing on top of it. Similarly, for the daily reporting perspective, you still needed warehouse for the structured data. So that's why what was happening, though the storage is cheap, but you were still living with the data warehouse and you were using the capabilities of data lake. So dual cost wise, management wise, security wise, governance wise, these were the some challenges, right? You had to do a lot of overhead to maintain everything. And that is where the lake house concept, which is a, you can say, union of data lake and warehouse came in picture. Databricks works on the concept of Lakehouse. You have the features of your warehouse as well as your lakehouse or data lake, right? That is what you get in the data lake. So Databricks offers you everything under one umbrella, not just for the different roles for the people, but for the data and data problems as well. So that is a one-stop solution again from the technical point of view as well. Be it any kind of your data, you can bring that, put it into the storage. Storage depends like what cloud you're using. If you're using AWS, then it can be S3 related storage. If it is Azure, it will be ADLS or blob related storage. Or if you are on GCP, Google Cloud, then you can use data storage buckets and all, right? And on top of that storage, you build up your Medallion architecture to process your data and then make it ready available for your daily BI reports, data science team, machine learning, AI, or any other third party which they want to consume your data, right? So it's a one-stop shop within Databricks. But yeah, I mean, I would say like this data lake house, the concept is used across all the modern data platforms. So if you know the concept of this, you know Databricks very well, but you are not bound to live in Databricks because these concepts are common. So you can, go and use the same concepts. What we are going to cover in this course, you can leverage those concepts in other tools as well. I hope it is clear till now. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fine, Satya. That's really clear here.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Let's move on. So over here, I'm talking completely about Databricks, right? Now, before I get and do the deep dive within the Databricks architecture, there is a concept of Parquet format or Delta format, right? I mean, as a data engineer or as a ETL developer or as a business analyst, we hear a lot about data in SQL Server. We hear about data in Excel files, CSV, text, right? Log file. There is a data format called Parquet format or Delta format, right? It's generally what happens, like let's say you get data from SQL Server and try to put it into your data lake, right? So it's a recommendation to convert the data into Parquet format because it is more compressed, and it takes very less size. Like let's say if you got 1 GB of the data, 1 GB of the data, after compression or after converting that into delta format or Parquet format, it becomes only 20% of the original size. So you occupy very less space. And for big data, Spark and all, it's a very kind of compatible format. They can easily process this data. So Databricks also recommends to use the Parquet format or use the Delta format, right? Why we are calling Delta? Because it helps you to do the time traveling, right? What is the meaning of time traveling? I'll talk about it now. So let's say you are getting a dump from a particular process every day, dump of data every day. Now, if you need to kind of trace back that what was the record, let's say 5 days back, what is now, right, in the file. So you can do all that comparison within the Parquet format or the Parquet files using Databricks, right? It is easy. It will tell you all the changes so that you will understand that what are the modifications or updates have happened in the data. So that's the recommendation, both perspective, number one, processing, and second thing is cost and storage perspective, right? So that is what Databricks supports. Now over here within this Lakehouse platform architecture for Databricks, as I mentioned that it is compatible with any data platform, be it GCP, Microsoft, Azure, or AWS. So you can use that storage layer from those clouds, whichever you are using, and you can put in any sort of data, whether it is a structured, semi-structured, unstructured, or a streaming data, log data, audio, video, anything, right? You can dump that data into the storage layer. On top of this storage layer, generally, if I follow the Medallion architecture, the storage layer, somebody called landing zone or the bronze zone, that is where you have the as is data, the data which is same as source when you're bringing it, right? No modifications done within this. But then as soon as the data comes within the Databricks environment, you need to make sure that the data is used only for the required activities. Anybody, I mean, any new person in your team cannot come and destroy the data or manipulate that data. So that is where the security, privacy, management of that environment comes in picture. You can apply this in all the layers, starting from bronze, silver, gold, or be it for reporting as well, right? Then you got data management and governance. So over here you do all sort of transformations. You process your data, aggregate your data, do the joins, right? Look for lineage, that what is the primary keys, references, everything you can manage over here. And once your data is in a proper model format in catalogs, then you can make it available for BI. You can write SQL on top of it. You can make it ready for data science and machine learning. So this is the flow, different layers of the data journey within the Databricks platform. Now, depending on the roles, like let's say if you are from architecture background, if you are from data engineering background, if you are from data science background, you will have different roles and activities to play, but you will be doing that within the same environment. That's the key, and that's the most beautiful thing within Databricks. Yeah. I hope this makes sense.
Yeah, that's really great, Satya. You explained in a very nicer way, and we can observe that we are going in a little more depth. So I think for demo session till this point we are enough. We have explained architecture, roadmap, and very high level details of Databricks as well. So as a new person who would like to enroll for this course, so I think these contents will be enough for them to decide further.
All right,
Yeah.
sure. Mhm.
No? So I think these are more than enough for us. And once we will start the regular classes, then definitely session wise we will cover in the more detail in the more depth. Okay, now.
Sounds
So
good.
for time, yeah, for time being, we are fine for this demo session. Aditi or Karthik, do you have any question from your side who would like to ask?
No, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I would like to know about the hands-on experience of the candidate.
Yeah, that's a good
Uh,
question. So, Satya, regarding the lab, are we going to get trial access to the lab and all from Databricks?
Right. That's the another I would say the very good thing with Databricks. So Databricks provides, a free kind of account to everyone, right? Coming from any
Okay,
particular background. So I'm kind of, showing the same screen right now. This environment will be available from day one to all the candidates, all the participants of this course, right? Be it from, if they are from data engineering background, from the data science background, right? AIML, see only kind of a BA kind of activity, they can access all these tools over here and they can play with the data. So this environment
okay,
will be available
okay,
free of cost for them.
great. So they can get their own environment, like they can do the sign up through their own Gmail or something, or how they are going to get it.
Exactly. So once you go to databricks.com, there is an option called login. And once you
Yeah.
go there, basically if you are first time coming in here, you need to sign up using your Google or Microsoft account. And then you can start using the free account for Databricks.
So for how many days we get in the means first trial for free account?
That's the beauty of Databricks. It's always free of cost. There is
Okay.
no end of trial. The only thing is
Hmm.
within this account you get a limited compute resource. So you cannot put
Got
the
it.
heavy bulk of your data. But let's say if you have a small data and you want to do R&D, it's open for you.
So it's limitation on the volume of the data and computing, and they have given all the feature to explore, right? Yeah.
Correct.
So that's great. So we are fine with the lab. There is no restriction. Yeah, Aditi, any more question?
no more questions.
Yeah. So that's great. So Satya, finally, I would like to ask one question related to the job market.
Mhm.
So, how is the demand and supply of the resources for this Databricks in the current market, especially in India or outside India?
I mean, globally, I would say, see, the best point with the Databricks is that it is available in all the clouds. These are the three major clouds which are, working cloud providers which are working across the globe. So there is no restriction. Any company which is using any of these clouds like Google, Azure, or AWS, they would have some data platform tools related to data processing and everything. Now, because Databricks started from open source and then it has all those capabilities to process your data, do it within your environment. So Databricks is generally the first choice of these major organizations. And that is why any cloud, like whatever is your background of any cloud, you can still work in the Databricks, irrespective of your background, right? The same goes with the organizations. So that is why even if you go to any job portal right now, you will find Databricks as one of the majorly used cloud platform. So that's a plus point. Yeah.
Okay. So, if you talk about means demand and supply, so are we getting enough kind of supply of resources for Databricks in the market, or we have shortage?
I would say there is a shortage, right? The what is happening actually because companies are looking for people who have some understanding and working with the modern data platform. You will get a lot of people who are learning right now, but companies are looking for people who are certified. So what happens uh, when people go for the training and understanding? Certification is the one which gives them credential that okay, yeah, they have not only gone through the training but they have achieved something, a credential from the company as well. Uh, Companies don't want to kind of invest time in doing R&D. And that is the reason they're looking for people who are trained, they are skillful. And that is why, specifically in Databricks, there is huge requirement, be it within India or you go outside of India.
Ah, great, Satya. Great. I think that's enough insight for us. So I think we have covered end-to-end demo session for this Databricks live training. We really appreciate you, Satya, for a very beautiful explanation. So we would request our candidate to please go through this demo session end-to-end, and if you would like to enroll, please connect with our training advisor, Karthik, Aditi, or any of the team members. We will help you to answer you all the questions. Yeah, so at this point, we can wrap up this session. Thanks everyone for your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.